It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Nima Akasha Zeberi.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm grateful to God. I had good news this morning. Let me just share the limited one first. It's my grandfather's 25th memorial today.
Okay.
So I say to all the Akokias, all the sons and daughters of Abima, Umar Akokia, wherever you are in the world, pray for Grandpa. He was a good man, a great man, and we remember him kindly. But I have good news also. I became an aunt, by extension.
Congratulations.
My baby became a mother overnight.
More a grandma than an aunt, actually. It's not rabbit.
No, it's not rabbit. Miriam had a baby boy, yes, yesterday. And we are fighting now not to name him Imran. Yes, when she got married, because of her closeness, I used to call her Mama Imran. So I think that's sort of inspired the name, but everybody disagrees. We don't want to have two Imran. So we're going to have another name, inshallah. So excited and happy. She's well. I've seen her this morning. The baby is healthy. Grateful to God.
Fantastic. Thank God.
That's awesome.
How are you doing, Bessie?
I'm doing amazing. We're at Freedom Park yesterday. Yep. And Uncle Theo was a good host, just took us on a tour of what was happening. So we saw this art. Sylvester is an arts guy. He actually did a private exhibition in my home when I was moving in. So he's come up with a lot of amazing stuff, like so much. I had to even pick, if they even have outfits that are, art represented, I had to even buy it. It's my wedding anniversary this coming week, yeah. And it was fun. That's also met, should I let you go to the art? Okay. We also met a cartoonist who happened to tell the Nigerian stories through his cartoons. Yeah. And he gave us gifts. Baba Alesh, thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much. God bless you. Yeah. It was fun.
What was really interesting about Baba Alesh's cartoons was that we're looking at the things and we're like, we took this story. So it's like newspaper review in cartoons, and really interesting. With Sylvester Aguda, his work is, it just reminds us of how much we have in our country, how much we have to celebrate. It's art, it's fashion, everything, clothes and everything. African or, artists, they're using their creativity to just make all these things. And we don't appreciate it enough, and we should. Because we have a lot to, be proud of. I got a coconut bag yesterday. Yes, made from coconut shells.
This is a year of bags.
Yes.
Trust me to carry it.
And I will carry it. Yeah, very nice.
Bag.
Yes.
So it's like a coconut?
Yeah, it's a coconut shell with a zip. So you just open it. Really cute.
And a handle.
Nice. Well, so that was at Freedom Park?
Yes.
So what's the activity for today? Do you know? Today's Wednesday.
I think it started, yes, it's a 7-day celebration. Yes, musicals at night. Yes.
That's nice. Fantastic. Well done, YK. I know she's watching. Okay.
Of course, we had catfish pepper soup.
Yeah.
Oh,
lovely.
correct pepper soup.
Yes.
Those people, they are fantastic at Freedom Park.
Yeah, they are.
Fantastic. That fish pepper soup is unbelievable. Okay, let's go on a quick break now. When we return, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Because YK deserves our support 100%. Okay, thanks for staying with us. We're going to move now to the nation. Senate, we bow to public on e-transmission of results. If you had not. Government spends 30% of forex on petroleum products importation. Picture here of Ayodele Fayoshi and the former governor of Ogun State, Governor Gbenga Daniel, visiting Jagaban himself at Bodilon Ikoyi. Reps OK Southwest Development Commission. Custom duties, 91 private jets risk forfeiture. Please help us forfeit them. And the rain of tributes for Ndubuisi Kanu in Lagos. Okay, let's start with the major headline.
Yes, major headline. Senate has approved the proposal that INEC should use, was free to use electronic voting and e-transmission of results. And this is also without, the initial suggestion by Senate was that INEC had to ask NCC for permission to be able to do that. And INEC said, well, that is now making us we're an independent commission. We are not meant to ask permission for that. So now they're allowed to independently carry it out, electronic voting, e-transmission of the results. And they also added that political parties can now only use direct primaries to pick their candidates. Well,
that's a hot topic.
That's a hot topic. Many people have commended them. The governor of Rivers State, Governor Wike, also commended them. But he says, you see that direct primaries, it is the exclusive rights of the political party to determine whether they want to use direct or indirect. So it's not for the Senate to do that. But the INEC has also said that INEC has said that they are not going to make any response yet until they get until the president's assent. So I think it's good news.
I was going to take this story because I found it pretty interesting. The SGF boss Mustafa was speaking yesterday in Abuja at a midterm ministerial performance retreat, and was saying that 30% of our forex is spent on petroleum importation. He also said that if we can divert our resources to health sector and the educational sector, that will help reduce the amount of forex we export, because people are going there for medical services, they're going there for education, and this has to be reviewed so that we don't have to keep losing our forex. And I think the president of the African Development Bank also added that he was comparing us to Vietnam, saying that Vietnam actually and us were in the same category 40 years ago. But today our exportation is about $35 billion worth, while theirs is $384 billion worth, saying that we are export dependent. We're not an oil-rich nation. We're an oil-dependent nation, and there's the stark difference.
There's a difference.
And yes, and that is about $100.
Oil dependent.
Yeah, $160 to a person,
Yes.
while in like Saudi Arabia it's about $4,000 to a person. So he's saying that we need to do more in exporting so that we can earn more forex.
Yeah.
When we are finally deliberate about our diversification,
Yes.
because I found out that a barrel of palm oil is more expensive than a barrel of crude oil. We focus so much on crude. The noise on crude we destroyed the industry of palm oil.
So the House of Representatives yesterday approved the establishment of the Southwest Development Commission, SWDC, and the Southeast Development Commission, SEDC. So they also approved the special financial support for revamping the Nigerian Armed Forces. But the information here is more on the Development Commission. They said that the commission will be charged with responsibilities to receive and manage funds from federal government's accounts, and also donations, gifts, reconstruction and rehabilitation of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damage. For the Southeast, they also said that they are going to also see how they can, support people who lost their houses and infrastructure during the Civil War.
See, but as happy as I am, but this is all the cost of governance I was saying. This is another commission. More bills, more money inside
to solve problems.
I don't exactly
Discuss the problem and find solution. No.
Throw money.
Just throw money.
We don't want to be whatever.
Who has the private jet story?
I do. I want to take it in
Whose
punch.
private jet goes here?
Hey, they don't name them.
They don't mention names. How come they don't mention names?
Go ahead. Okay.
Okay. I have it in punch.
Let's take it in punch.
Okay.
INEC awaits Buhari's nod on e-transmission of results. Agreed son hacks father to death over chicken and charged to court. 3 days, cultists hold Lagos communities hostage for 1 month. Man hires hoodlums to attack Ogun teacher for beating daughter. President Idokwesi impressing benefactors in North. Position where it is on Hanese. Kwara raises 10-member panel to probe Quranic schools' excessive beating.
Okay.
Customs threaten to impound 29 private jets over import and operational offenses. 8-month fuel imports gulp $690 million amid forex scarcity. Ramfac presents new revenue sharing formula to Buhari this December. Okay, which story, Nima? Let's start with the private jets.
Okay, good. So the Nigerian Customs have given private jet owner, 29 of them, an ultimatum to present their complete papers for importation and duties and all of that within those 14 days, of risk having their private jets impounded. So these are private jet owners who were able to bring in their planes into the country and got a waiver to continue to operate these planes without meeting up. And we talk about all the time, give big men. So these are big men, of course, who had waivers. And they've been using their private jet, but now they call it an exercise to recover, they said, to promote national security and recover trapped revenue, finally, of the government in various private jet owners' coffers who evaded duties and other statutory charges. It's just now that they are woken up.
This is what SJ was saying, that we have such an appetite for international, for it. We can't afford private jets. Our economy really can't sustain it.
The big men.
The big men can't afford it. You are now starving us of forex because you have to pay to buy private jets.
So not only did you buy, you brought to the country and refused to pay what the country needs to operate.
So we're losing two ways.
But if a small car owner dares to import a new car, he will pay duties through his nose and he will not get waivers.
Human interest story?
Yes, I have that human interest story. A young man, Godwin Matthew, 26-year-old, on September the 9th, killed his dad. They said that the father had asked him to kill chicken for his brother and for his entertainment, and he did that just for him at the end of the day to get only the head of chicken. So he got really angry and then killed his father.
Wow.
It was the mom that reported it to the police in Akure there. He's been arrested and
sounds like bottle of anger.
I don't even know how to talk about it because the end was that you killed your dad. I mean, for what?
Head of chicken.
For head of chicken.
I'm saying there's bottle of anger with that child.
Yes, but the end is that you killed your father. If that you were so upset, you said something, you were rude.
From childhood, but they let this happen. So a childhood's anger has always been pampered.
It's not by letting.
No, they let it happen.
It's not by letting. Sometimes.
Okay, let's take another story.
Maybe mental health issue. I have another story. So a 35-year-old man, Abidemi Oluwaseun, has been arrested by the men of the Ogun State Police Command for allegedly hiring hoodlums to attack a teacher who flogged his 15-year-old daughter. So what happens was this girl was flogged in school. They were distracting the teacher, herself and some of her friends. And then, you know how the teachers want to flog you for correction. She went home, she reported the matter to her father, who now sent hoodlums. 2 hoodlums blazed into the school, Baptist Girls College, Idiaba, Abeokuta, and they were carrying brand new cutlass. They were threatening the teacher that they were going to kill her. And so the principal quickly called the police. They came in, they arrested them, and the case is still under investigation. The man has accepted that he sent the hoodlums to deal with the teacher because the teacher flogged the child. I don't know what he's even teaching to handle issues.
Self-help. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Moving on now to Vanguard. Senate in U-turn imposes direct primaries on parties. Sit up. Buhari tells ministers at their retreat. Amend constitution to recognize Amotekun as state police, says Fayemi. Nigeria's economy to grow at 2.6% in 2021, says IMF. Nigeria's trade costs too high to attract investment, says Okonjo-Iweala. Without regionalism, Nigeria's progress is a mirage, says Alaafin. And Oba of Benin postpones 5th anniversary ceremony in honor of late Captain Hoza Okumbo. Okay, which story are you taking there, ladies?
Just take the announcement from Benin before I take IMF. The Omonobanedo, the King of Benin, has postponed his 5th coronation anniversary and birthday to honor the late Captain Hoza Okumbo, who passed. And according to him, this is an illustrious son of Benin. I think it's an honor to the family. There's so many good things to hear about Captain Hoza Okumbo in Benin. But then the IMF are concerned about country's growth, since it's their business, and they have projected Nigeria's growth for this year to be 2.6%, and they expect that the global growth rate across the world is 5.9%. And according to them, other countries who would experience growth, of all the countries, India will have the highest growth, but they project that at the 9.5% growth will still drop slightly in 2022 to 8.5%. They projected across the world like that. But of course, this is a business again.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so the Alaafin of Oyo was saying yesterday that okay, this was at the opening ceremony of the Yoruba Studies Association of Nigeria, YOSAN 50th anniversary. and was held in Ibadan, University of Ibadan. He was saying that until Nigeria goes back to regionalism, the country's progress is still a mirage. He says that many Nigerians can attest to this. He says that the Yoruba remains the first race in Nigeria to have experienced tremendous progress and exposure among all the other tribes. And they were able to achieve this through education and the transformation of the Southwest in the 60s. He's urging Southwest governors to promote the use of Yoruba language in plenary, like it's done in Lagos and Ondo State. And just really, extolling the virtues of Yoruba. And,
okay, I was going to take this. Do you have the story? Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a story. So the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum and governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, is calling for...
My governor by marriage.
Yes, so my governor by my mother's place. He's calling for a constitution of the amendment.
Lost track.
Yeah, it's calling for a constitutional amendment to include Amoteco as part of the security forces. So according to him, he said the challenge of insecurity is frightening to everyone and everybody is concerned. The constitution needs to be amended to respond to current challenges. That back in 1999, the major challenges we had was more of ethnicity and religiosity. But right now, what we are having is Boko Haram, and the fact that our borders are porous with over 1,500, points of illegal entry. And so insurgents are able to come in, smuggle in arms, and deal with people. But what we need now is a localized security outfit that is knowledgeable with the terrain. And Amoteco so far has done well in the fact that they don't even have the AK-47 that their insurgent counterparts have, but they are able to fish them out, they're able to arrest them, they're able to rescue some people who have been kidnapped. And so he's gathering support that they say state police, basically. And I think it's the way to go, if you ask me.
Just waiting for them to implement. We've been discussing it over and over again. I was going to talk about our president. At this retreat, the ministerial retreat happened yesterday. That's
yesterday's retreat, yes.
So he was telling the ministers to, let me use the word, it says they need to sit up.
Yes.
So they have to redouble their efforts and rework on the synergy towards the total delivery of the improved livelihood of Nigerians. He said they have to ramp up implementation of their mandates along the other priority areas. And I feel that that's not strong enough. When you just say ramp up, do better, double up efforts, what are general words? Yeah, we need some specific thing where some like getting fired, some like getting queried. There's got to be some show that, listen, there's an urgency across all ministries and what. So it's nice that you tell them to ramp up and double up efforts.
How?
But there are also different places there's a place where you are conciliatory, so that could be. We have called people
the urgency that we are in right now. We need a stern leader who is ready, who says, this is it.
This is what I want. This is how to get it.
Okay, let's find another paper. Nima, you don't have anything on Drunkard?
I've taken two.
Okay, all right.
Daily
Let's go on to Daily Sun.
Okay.
A story we've not taken. Appointments of security chiefs should be representative, says Bauchi governor. We can't fund 2022 budget, says FIRS. Claims Nigerians hate paying taxes. I agree with you, Oga. Gunmen kills sergeant, sack police station in Bayelsa. The Naira's untold story, petrol import subsidy drain on foreign reserve. 2023, Ohaneze flees Dr. C over stand against Southern presidency. Okay, which story are we taking?
FIRS.
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Has said, the funding of the 16.9 trillion Naira 2022 budget would be hampered because Nigerians were not faithful in tax remittances. The chairman says that 4.2 trillion was collected in 9 months. Only said this is not sufficient, of course, as we can see the disparity in the number to fund our budget. That the problems, that they're having problems, of course, with both the oil and non-oil sector. But of the 4.2 trillion that was generated, 3.3 trillion came from the non-oil sector. The oil sector is not remitting as much. They were only able to, in 9 months, 950 billion. That's from oil taxes. And it's just saying that, if we were to do what we're meant to do, pay our taxes, we're collecting enough taxes, then the problem of funding our budget would not even arise. This would have covered for it. And I think that we should speak to ourselves, really, as Nigerians. When we talk about, government is traveling to borrow money, our debt burden is high, and things like that, we also need to know that we have a part to play in paying our taxes.
So right, NLC will carry placard. They don't pay taxes. Then they always carry placards. Yes, now they are constant. I know I'm on their case because they're always carrying placards.
Yeah.
Okay, Chief Raymond Dokwesi has shattered the table. He said that the Southeast cannot win the election for the PDP. That is the truth. That, according to him, that's the truth of the matter. He says, I wouldn't beat around the bush. I treat issues as they are. According to him, there's no candidate from the Southeast. Even he says, even I dare say that there's no candidate from the South that you put in the North's way that will be able to win the election. Of course, Ohaneze went right back for him. Saying, how can you talk like that?
We are English people.
You know, so it's quite disheartening, he said. He said that as one of the leaders of the South people, it's quite inappropriate for him to say that. And he specifically stated what he said exactly. He said, one can easily understand the psychological ambivalence in the Dokwesi persona. However, it is wrong for him to use that condescending attitude and disdain to cover the entire South on that, saying that even I dare say. So
I agree with them.
They're saying that how can he say that it is wrong for him to just assume
make that blanket?
Entirely wrong of him.
Yes.
So gunmen ransacked a police station in Ogbia local government area of Bayelsa State, while the police sergeants were outside trying to, carry out their checks on, checkpoints for cars that are moving in the area. So they came in around 12 a.m. about 6 gunmen and then started shooting sporadically into the air. The policemen tried to, give them back the shootout, but one of them unfortunately lost his life. So investigations are ongoing. The police command is saying that they've started investigating. But these people, when they did, they took barged into the police station. They took the rifles they saw around, the rifles of the a policeman that was gunned down and those other 2 that ran away, and then they left. But they said they are searching for them and they are asking every security agent around to help in search of these unknown gunmen. They are still unknown. I don't know if they come with masks. I don't know if they don't have where they sleep, if they are not traceable. I think we need to do better than just saying unknown gunmen.
You know how you watch on these foreign films where you can actually trace the fingerprints and they touch the vehicle.
Yes,
you can. You have an idea. But here we don't have any.
Everybody's just
because anytime we want to go and say everybody go and do your BVN. You will carry placard that
no, but we have done BVN.
Everybody saying this. No, BVN. They still don't do NIN number. They complain.
We have all of these.
Not everybody has done that. So
are you saying that the specific ones are the only ones that are?
I'm telling you that we cannot trace people because everybody has not done NIN number.
Many people have.
Machines are not working.
Continue to talk about this placard because every small thing they want to do, we always resist it, and that's our mentality. Every little thing government wants to do. Yeah, I'm not a fan of government. Yes. But sometimes we have to remind ourselves that we have to meet each other halfway. We got to take responsibility somehow. Moving on to Daily Trust.
Oh, wow.
FG moves to award Intel's multi-billion naira boat service contract. Nigeria Railway, a moribund sector, roars. Abducted Kebbi students freed after over 100 days in captivity. Yes. Insecurity, 62 private jet owners shun customs verification. Okay, let's talk about these kids that were captured.
So over 90 students, if we remember, and staff of Federal Government College, Birnin Yauri in Kebbi State, have been released after spending 118 days in captivity.
How many months is that? That's about 3 months or something.
Anyway, so the chairman of the parents of the kidnapped students, they have confirmed the release of the abducted students yesterday. And they were saying that the captives were set free around Kontagora Forest in Niger State, adding that they were on their way to Birnin Kebbi, that is today, where they'll be handed over to the Kebbi State government. Thank God. That's all I can say.
Thank God.
Just thank God.
The major headline in the Daily Trust.
Yes, please.
So Intel is the integrated logistics company. I'm trying to get their name. They were awarded a contract against the NPA's disqualification from bid. Intel is a company that has handled boat servicing for contracts for the NPA for the past 25 years. This contract has expired, and in the new bid to get another contract, they did not qualify. But somehow, federal government is moving to award them another long-term contract, which is either between 15 to 18 years to manage boat servicing for them. This is even after, while they were operating, we lost over $58 billion to their services, according to the Daily Trust report. The Daily Trust went deep. They discovered a lot of things, and I think it's extensive. It's an entire article two-page article in the Daily
And Intel
Trust.
has declined comments. Refused to
Intel
comment.
declined comments, of course, but the BPP, that's the Bureau of Public Procurement, and all of those institutional agencies are against Intel, but even despite that, they're getting their award for
We
the
have to run. I'm not sure there's any story we've not taken. I think Nigerian Tribune, Nigeria's trade costs too high to attract investments.
Yeah, so Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala told the president and other top government officials that Nigeria's trade costs are too high. There's need to improve security to attract foreign and domestic investments. Country must cut down on infrastructure costs, linkage costs, regulatory costs, custom costs, and all costs associated with moving goods from the factory to the final consumer. Said our trade cost is equivalent to 306% tariff, which is 1.5 times higher than cost in high-income countries. So also the issue with the Nigerian ports is one of the things that don't encourage people to get into business in Nigeria. We need to do better.
News Direct, I think there's a story we've not taken there. Oshibajo denies call for naira devaluation and substandard gas cylinders. Sun declares war against manufacturers and importers.
Yeah.
Can you take that story?
Yeah, so the VP has denied that he was calling for the devaluation of naira due to the artificial low exchange rate. He said what he was trying to say is that measures instead should be put in place to increase the supply of forex instead of constantly managing the demand. He says that because when we do that, what we cause is we bring opportunities of corruption and arbitrage, which is people will be able to buy forex for 410 and then turn around and sell it for 570. He says that means there's no need to do proper business. When you know all you have to do is sit in your home, do that, and then you have made 40% profit. And this will discourage foreign investors who bring in their goods and everything at 410, and then they need to buy forex. But because there's unavailability of forex, they go into the power market, buy for 570, and they're like, this doesn't pay us. And so we need to do more to encourage supply, not that he's asking for devaluation.
Great. I think that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we return, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So joining us is the Registrar General and the CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Garba Abubakar. He will be giving us tips on how to register your businesses and the problems associated with their offerings when it comes to business registration. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Mariah. Good morning.
Good morning to you. So now, everybody's asking us to become entrepreneurs, start a business. You know, we're trying to build the economy and participate. And the first step for anyone that wants to start a business is really to register with the government. But sometimes this process can be quite cumbersome because you have to say, who do you know that can help me to register? Or CSC. And they start asking you to charge. They start charging all these big figures. So I know you have some good news for us on how not to do that. So I'd like you to help us. What's the most seamless process in registering with the government?
Thank you. This question is very apt. The process is completely electronic now. And you don't need to go through an agent if you are the owner of that business. This new rule started long ago as part of the Ease of Doing Business initiative of the government. Government introduced a window for direct registration by the entrepreneur himself or the trustee of an association. Until this year, the process was semi-automated. You are still required to visit CAC to collect the incorporation documents. But since 3rd of January this year, you can create an account on the company registration portal. If you go to pre.cac.gov.ng, as a public user and the owner of the business, you can create an account. All you require is a valid email address. You put your details. Once you have that account, then you are set to register either a company, a business name, a limited partnership or limited liability partnership, or an incorporated trustee. The only precondition is your name will appear as one of the owners, one of the trustees. This was a necessary measure because we didn't want a situation where non-professional would take over and be doing it for a fee on behalf of others. So once you have that account, the interface for you to reserve a unique name is available. You have an option to submit 2 names in order of preference. We'll check the database. Our officers will review. We have some guidance on what can be approved and what can be denied, because the law has enshrined some conditions upon which certain names will not be allowed. Where there's an identical name already registered, they will not give you that name. Or a name that is closely similar to an earlier registered name will not give you that name. Or where the name has some restricted words, you require the consent of the Registrar General, and the process of obtaining that consent is separate from the normal process of name reservation. So you have to apply for a reservation code and front load all the information, your objectives, the names of the directors or the trustees, as the case may be. If we are satisfied, then we'll give you the name. The moment you have the name, then you can proceed to register. For a business name, a company or limited liability partnership, you can even start and finish that registration the same day. Unlike before, where you are required to print these documents, sign them, submit to CAC to collect your original certificate. With the new portal, it's electronic end-to-end. All you are required to do is you type out your memorandum, your objectives. You have an option to adopt the model articles, which is provided in the portal. If you choose to modify, then you modify. Then you submit details of the trustees or the directors and the shareholders. You enter the details with their addresses. Then you upload your signatures. So you don't need to print any document, sign, and maybe submit originals. All you do is you crop your signature on any paper and you submit. Once you do that, you pay the registration fee. And the registration fee, particularly for a company with 1 million share capital, is just 10,000 naira. Stamp duty costs you about 7,500 naira. So with less than 20,000 naira, you can start and finish incorporation. Yes, you can. Yes, yes.
Okay. So some business people have complained and said that the server is always down. So I had a few of my colleagues who tried to register businesses, and it took them about 3 weeks to get it done because they kept complaining that the server is always down. It seemed like it's not really working properly for now.
I believe that happened last year, not this year.
This year, sir?
No. It's either, if your internet connection is not strong, you may not realize that the problem is from you.
Your own end.
But since the beginning of this year, we have not experienced any downtime. Sometimes it's slow in the afternoon. We have received these complaints from customers. Okay. During peak hours, it's slow. This is not peculiar to us. Even some of the best telecommunication companies used to have this experience. Yeah. So what we are trying to do is to actually upgrade the infrastructure, the capacity, so that there will be seamless service even at peak hours. So, but generally, the portal is available. We've not had any downtime from the 3rd of January when this new system came into effect to date. Right. We've not experienced any downtime.
Okay. Yeah. So, sir, many Nigerians, we hear all the time that informal sector is the highest, compared to the formal sector. Many of our businesses are sort of at, small level, subsistence level. And some of them would like to formalize their business, and they believe that registration is part of it. But they're asking, do I need to have all the 1 million naira shares and all that to get on the platform, first of all? And secondly, this thing seems so very techy, and you have to be, you understand the majority of Nigerians, some of them do not have the know-how of, getting online and following all these instructions. So they may also need help. What does this new platform provide for this group of Nigerians?
Okay, thank you so much. About share capital, you don't need to have the money before you can register. In fact, you can start a business without paying your own contribution. You may not even pay the contribution until the company is being wound up. It's just an undertaking from you that in the event of the company being wound up, you agree to contribute so amount. And if the company is even able to pay its debt during the winding up, including the cost of the winding up, you are not even obliged to pay that contribution. Some companies will register, they borrow money because they are in a market where their product sells, banks will give them money. The shareholders may not contribute a kobo at all for the life of that company. So it's just a commitment. This is what we agree to contribute. You may not have to put it down, but you have to issue it. Unlike before, where when you have the 1 million, you may not issue it, all of it. But the new law says you must issue all the share capital. So that if anything happens, every shareholder has to bring his own contribution to pay the debt of the company at the point of winding up. For Nigerians, they may not have technological savvy. What we have tried to do is, if you go to our website, we have multimedia there that takes you through the whole gamut of the new application. From how to create an account, how to register, how to make your data entry, how to submit your documents, up to the end of the process. So that provides a clear guide. And the window for you to go
in Nigerian languages?
It's in English, actually. It's in English. Yeah, because our regulation says all our documents must be in English.
Okay.
So if you are unable to do it yourself, you can still approach an agent and negotiate the fees, because the window for lawyers, accountants, and chartered secretaries to register on behalf of third parties is still there.
Okay, right. Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. I'd like to encourage those of you who own businesses to call in. This is the Oga Patapata of CAC. Please come and ask your questions now. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We have the Registrar General of the CAC with us here. Nima, you had a question before the break.
Yes, I had a question. So I wanted to know what you do about complaints now, because people still have issues with registration, even though it's online. How fast is the complaints desk and resolution, and how can they avail themselves of that? Also, there's a question for you. They said, please kindly ask the Corporate Affairs Commission, if someone wants to review an existing registered name like Fabulous City and remove City and just leave it like Fabulous, is it allowed? Or if it is allowed, what are the requirements?
Okay, thank you, Nima. On complaints, we have 3 or 4 channels for escalating complaints to the Commission. One is through the helpline, but the helpline operates from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. You have a support center on the portal, and we always encourage people to use the support center. You get a ticket, there's a ticket number, and you can track the complaint up to resolution level, or you can send a telegram. We have a telegram, particularly for all the lawyers that are accredited with us, those that have subscribed. You can also send your complaint through this medium. We are planning to have a full-scale CRM by next year, where we'll have dedicated officers that will work 24/7 to attend to these issues. We are not there yet. This is actually our focus for next year.
All right, so I know...
On the issue of name, yes, he can change the name. That has to come by way of change of name. He has to apply to reserve the name. He has to submit the new name as a change of name request. If it is approved, then he will submit his resolution for change of name, pay the requisite fee on the portal. This is purely electronic, and a new certificate will be issued to him reflecting the new name. So
somebody got sent a message from he lives abroad, and he's saying that you need to have an NIN number before you can apply or register a company, because now that there's everybody talking about NIN.
Yes, for now, we will soon integrate with the National Identity Database. In fact, the work is almost concluded. But for now, if you have your driver's license, a Nigerian driver's license, or your international passport, the data page, or your national ID, you can register. If you are a foreigner, then you are allowed to register a company in Nigeria, and you can submit the data page of your international passport as a foreigner. But to use a Nigerian address as your own personal address, you must have a residence permit. Otherwise, as a director or shareholder, you can use your foreign address. But the company's address must be situated in Nigeria. So that's the requirement.
Right.
Yes, but very soon, we are going to integrate with the National Identity Management Database. And once that is done, for every Nigerian or a foreigner resident in Nigeria, you must use your NIN number to register, because this is necessary as part of measures to ensure the integrity of our information. We've seen cases where some of these identifications are cloned. People will change, go and use another person's identity, change the name, and submit to us.
Exactly.
Yes, so with the integration, once we enter the number, it will validate your details before we proceed to register.
Let me take Hassan. Hassan's been holding for a while. Hassan, are you there?
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning to your special guest of honor, the Registrar Corporate Affairs Commission. This is the second time I'm hearing from you, sir. And I really appreciate you for the radical approach you brought to the registration of companies and business names in Nigeria. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to the federal government of Nigeria. Number two, my question here is this: can one register as a simple owner of a company, unlike before, where a person is not allowed to own a whole company? That's number one. Number two, I heard you say something, that there's still a window for the professional, for the lawyers. But please, I would like you to do us a favor. Please, there should be a cap to their charges. The money, the professional, the lawyer charges for the registration of company is beyond your own personal imagination, sir. Some charges as high as 250,000 naira.
Yes. Wow.
And this issue must come to an end.
All right.
Because I can see you there as a patriotic Nigerian. I can see a federal government trying to bail us out from the shackles of the professional consultants and the lawyers.
Okay. Thank you very much, Hassan.
Shackles of professionals.
Shackles of lawyers. There are two other around us. Let us what nation names.
Thank you so much. Yes, with the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, you can register a one-man company. And it has all the powers of a company. It has a separate legal personality from the members. It can sue and be sued in its own name. It can own property in its own name. So one-man company is now recognized under the Nigerian company law. On fees being charged by lawyers and other professionals, unfortunately, it's not within our purview to actually control how much a professional can charge. My advice to you is our fees have been published. All what is supposed to be paid to incorporate a company or to pay stamp duty is published. So before you engage any professional, find out what this statutory fee is. Then you can use it to negotiate how much you are going to pay him. Or you ask him to give you a breakdown of the statutory fees and his own fee for the professional charge. If it is too much, you can negotiate. If you are not satisfied, then you can approach another professional to do it on your behalf. I'm aware that some countries have actually pegged the maximum amount that professional can charge for company incorporation. But in Nigeria, we don't have that yet.
Is there any plan to have it?
Well, we are not contemplating that. But maybe it may come up later as part of this. But the mere fact that you can do it yourself, I think it's sufficient comfort for everybody.
Right, let me take this call.
You don't need to pay any professional.
Tijani, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Murayo and the crew.
Morning,
I'm Tijani calling from Kano. I opened a business in 2016 for agricultural products and services, which include sourcing and exportation of agricultural commodities. But a while back, I think there was an announcement made by the CAC that every company should come for a revalidation. I made every possible effort to get in touch with CAC on how to go about the revalidation, but I never got a response from them. I made calls, email, Facebook, Instagram, all the channels that you know. I never got a response from their customer service, which is very, 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 very bad from at least a country like Nigeria, where the vice president came about with this ease of doing business. So there's still much to be done by the CAC, please.
Okay, thank you. Let me let the...
Well, I'm sorry, Tijani, if you didn't get a response on that. We'll look into that. But the revalidation is not for companies. The revalidation is for accredited agents. That is lawyers, accountants, and chartered secretaries that conduct business on behalf of third parties. For companies, all you need to do, and this is a legal requirement, is to be filing your returns every year. You don't need to come and revalidate. You are only required to file when you make changes on your directorship, when you are increasing your share capital, or when you change your address. Apart from that, every year you must file your returns. I will advise you to check your status on our portal. You go to public search at pre.csc.gov.ng. If you put the name of your company, it will tell you whether that company is active or inactive. If your company is not filing returns, certainly it's inactive. So all you are required to do is to update your returns. You can do it directly, but to be able to do that, you must create an entity electronic account. We have introduced a window where every company can do its own post-incorporation. Apart from, we have separated the registration interface from the post-registration interface. So you can apply, go to our website, download the form for entity electronic account, complete it and send it to us. We'll create the account and send you the link. With that, you'll be able to file your returns directly. You don't need to even go through an agent.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Let me take this call. Good morning. Are you there, Alex? Ooh.
We lost that.
I think there's another call waiting. All right. So I know I saw you at the ministerial briefing or the retreat.
No, I was not at the retreat. It was the presentation of NNPC certificate. That was what we were.
Okay. But I was wondering what you're doing in Lagos, because that was pretty...
No, I was not part of the retreat. We came here for customers forum.
Oh.
Yes, it's part of our feedback mechanism. We interact with our customers, lawyers, accountants, and treasury secretaries. Since this deployment, we've not had the opportunity to interact. The last one was held last year. Okay. We want to get their feedback on our services, on how the portal is, their experience so far. Then this feedback will enable us to now make necessary corrections or adjustments as necessary. So we have one that is holding today at Southern Sun Hotel in Ikoyi. The second one will be tomorrow at the Lagos Airport Hotel. Okay. So we decided to hold it in these two locations because of the restriction on the number of persons. Right. We expect 200 customers today in the Southern Sun and another 200 tomorrow at the Lagos Airport Hotel. Yes.
Can I take Mustafa that come to Mariam? Mustafa, are you there?
I'm here, ma'am.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Registrar General. My question is this: with all these online models that they have adopted for ease of doing business, how do we maintain the integrity of the data so that somebody cannot come and go and adjust the shareholders without authorization?
Isn't that how come Nigeria factor? How do you
Thank you, Mustafa. As I have said, we have two categories of persons that can make filings on behalf of CAC. It's either an accredited customer. If you are accredited, we know you, we know your details. If anything happens, we'll hold you responsible. And to be able to file as an accredited customer, you must indicate the officer of the company that authorized you to do that. That has to be provided before you can submit any application. Or the company itself. For the company to do that, they must have an electronic entity account, and they must designate one of their officers that will manage that account on their behalf. So any filing coming through that medium is deemed to have been authorized by the company. Our portal is secured. Our infrastructure is secured. We are hosting at the Galaxy Data Center, which is a federal government-owned data center. We have a replication in our premises with state-of-the-art firewall. And we will constantly review, do a lot of checks to ensure that the database and the infrastructure is secured.
Thank you very much. I think that we can wrap up with that. Speaking with the CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission and the Registrar General, Garba Abubakar. Thank you so much for enlightening us this morning on the process. And we'll let you know with feedback. Trust me, with Nigeria, I trust our viewers. They will call in and let us know if there's any issues. But we'll send the feedback to you, and we hope that it will be resolved. Thank you so much.
Mara. Thank you.
All right, we're going to go on a quick break now. We'll come back, move on to our hot topic. Stay with us.
Anima.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, I think it was last week, a celebrity and actress went on social media and posted a disclaimer, especially because her daughter had allegedly, possibly defrauded some people with her business. And many felt that, why would you do that to your daughter? And as usual, we don't want to focus on the parties because it's none of our business. We want to take the lessons from the conversation. So the question is, if you are in that situation where your daughter is defrauding or is misbehaving publicly, and your daughter is an adult running a business, unfortunately, her business, therefore, is affecting you as a person, as maybe as a known person, a celebrity, or a government official, or someone that is quite popular, would you take the route of issuing a disclaimer against your own child? Or would you stand by that child regardless of their misbehavior? That's the question today. Social media went both, some were for, some were against. I would like to hear your thoughts on it. You can call us on 08127053687. You can also call us on 091-390-6748. Would like to hear your thoughts on this. All right, so let me start with you, because this is a sensitive issue, because the person in question, that's the celebrity, we've seen the person support the daughter for many years, even when I think I witnessed one or two things where the child allegedly defrauded some people, and, you know, she went out and supported the child. And people went for, in fact, nobody even knew who the daughter was. It was this person they were going for totally and completely back to back. And, you know, you can almost imagine what she went through. But regardless, they say love is thicker than water. They say that love is blind, right? It's thicker, and love is blind, and you love unconditionally. So would you say her issuing a disclaimer, is that a conditional love, would you say?
Okay, I think people always tend to blame parents when their children misbehave. So no matter how old the child becomes, once you have, especially if you have a name as a parent, anything the child does will still find its way back to you. And that's why some people, you know, take their time to make their children understand that it's not just about you. So you can't just be selfish in how you deal with things and deal with people, because it will still find its way back to me. You know, in this part of the world, we like to protect what we see as our own, our children. And even when we know that they are carrying out criminal activities, the fact that, hey, yeah, she sucked my breast, I am a mother, I can't abandon her, we still, you know, defy all odds and support. But I think it's come to a point where you have to look at the person in the eye and say, you're an adult. This is wrong. Take responsibility or I'm out. And I think that's the point where she has gotten to. So I remember when I started my hair business, people would send me messages that, do you know this person? They would call her name. They would send me chats. Do you know this person? She's defrauding people. And it's bad for our business, because we asked, for me, I don't have a physical shop. I sell strictly online. And then people are wondering, are you sure this person, if this person with this caliber, who am I now? I'm just starting the life. Are you sure you would not defraud me? How am I sure it's you? How am I sure I will pay and get my product? So we're constantly having to prove ourselves in this line of business. It's online. I don't have a physical store. So I think it's time. I agree with what Ireti has done. I would do the same. I will do exactly the same. If I have told you as my child that this way you're going, it's not good, and I've tried to help you to find ways and you're not listening to me, I will take myself out. Because at the end of the day, if they come to pick you up, arrest you, EFCC or whatever, it's not me. It's you. My name is my name. I made my name for myself. Make your own name for yourself.
Right, let me
Don't spoil my name.
Yeah, so I cannot imagine how hard it is for a mother to do what she has done. It must have been tough. It must have taken many days of consultations, of you know, maybe even timelines. Okay, I'm going to help you cover up for this. I'm going to pay up, you know, whatever differences there are. You know, they must have had, I believe that they must have had different interventions until they had to go this route. And I'm sure it will be about her name, about her own business as well. Because once it starts affecting her name and her business, especially when we're talking about an adult child, then it's right that she went through. And I think from the way I read it, I think it was even a legal advice that she gave, because it was, you know, well written. She stated what was important to be stated. Yes, this child is biologically mine, but this business is not mine. So it's a separate entity from who I am and the name that we know and the brand that she stands for. So this was really a business message sent to all people who have involved themselves business-wise with the person. So it must have been terrible. I remember one of the reasons we take off our shoes at the airport now was a young boy, we remember one time, who took a bomb onto an airplane trying to, you know, bomb the plane. Before then, they said his parents had noticed some behaviors about him that they were worried about, that the father even had to report, to the point that he was now on a list, you know, that the American government had their eye on him. And they noticed, you know, he was moving and associating with, you know, unscrupulous elements. And they did the right thing. They did the right thing and prevented many people from dying. There comes a point where your child is doing something terrible that you have to separate yourself from that bad deed, from that child. There's also one thing I remember growing up. My mom used to always say, a liar is a thief. I'll stand with you for anything, but if they tell me that you're stolen, you're a liar, I will not stand by you. So we knew growing up that whatever we do, you dare not lie or steal. Because when they come for you on your own, nobody will stand by you.
Going by example, by the bomber, like you said, to you, the family did the right thing. But to the family, it's like you totally, I don't know how to use it. So the family might be hurting even now, till now, because daddy reported our brother or our sibling to the police. That's one. So the family is probably still hurting today. Now, so if you issue a disclaimer against your own child, are you not really indicting yourself as a parent? Are you saying that, listen, I didn't raise you right, and because I didn't raise you right, I'm therefore having to issue a disclaimer. I'm saying the
I get
so that we understand both sides of the story.
Let me read her response to Fisayo Shoyombo. You remember the popular investigative journalist, Fisayo. So he said on Twitter to her that integrity-wise, the thing to do is work with your daughter to ensure the refund of the many people who paid her in the first place, simply because they trusted you. Now she answered, "Hi Fisayo, respectfully, I'd like to ask, as an adult with autonomy and full agency over your personal affairs, is it everything your mom asks or tells you to do that you comply with expressly and to the letter? No, I'll leave it there for now." So she just put no in question and said, "I'll leave it there for now." And that's where I have my response from. So this is a woman who probably has been telling her daughter over and over, do business right, do things right. This is a married woman with children that you're trying to control. She's a grandmother by this woman. She's married and has her own family. And your mother and you have built a business, you built it because, of course, people think you're related to a popular person. Some people will just take pictures with any of us here and post it on their page. And people say, okay, I know you because I saw a picture. There's somebody who came on this show and advertised a business and defrauded people to tens of billions. Right now, we're getting messages just because they've associated. And because she's associated with Ireti, people trusted her. So the mother had continued to tell her, do business right, pay people up, because these people are now coming on her page. I have had reports personally of people who have said they reported to her mom personally, but she's not responding. And the mother said, pay, do the right thing, and she has refused. At this point that she has disassociated herself, those people can institute anything they want to institute. And of course, she's an individual, an adult, she would answer. What I just want, I would have preferred she did, was that the disclaimer came earlier so that people don't continue to invest. No, you would have had to. If you're not doing business right and some people are already complaining, why do you allow other people to invest in the same person? That's bad market.
Okay, let's go on this break, because this is a tough situation for any parent. Just like you said, there's no parent that wants to do this to a child. But at what point do you draw the line as a mother in advising a child in this kind of situation? Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing this matter of where does a parent or a mother draw the line? So do you continue to advise your child perpetually because you don't want to disgrace your name or embarrass your family? Or do you say, you know what, Mapami, I didn't kill my child, I didn't kill my own mother. Go out there and go and defend yourself. Because if you ask a mother, also with some mothers, they'll say, I would never do this. They'll say, I would rather take her back, continue to help her, no matter what, because she's not destroying herself, she's destroying our name. You know how Africans are. It's not about you anymore. We are a communal society, so it's all about what you do affects us. And
that is what has gotten us to where we are today as a country. Because you see somebody doing something bad, you see somebody coming in to loot the treasures that would have benefited everybody all around. Ah, he's from my place. Ah, he's our cousin's auntie's uncle. Ah, we cannot do this. It's our family name. And we keep covering evil that if we had exposed early, everybody would have sat up. So it's about accountability and taking responsibility for your actions. As a parent, how long are you supposed to raise a child? Do you raise a child into adulthood? Nobody does that. As a child, you decide not to take the training your parents have given to you. Or yours is your case. You become an adult, you mess up, you carry it with your head. Nobody will punish Adam for the sin of Cain. Nobody will do that. But because we keep finding a way to, because it's my blood, keep fondling and playing with evil and things that don't make sense just to protect that name, that is why our society is where we are today. So going forward, as a way of making it possible, as a parent, you know the responsibilities to raise these children, give them the best. That's why you are constantly beating them, you are scolding them, you are talking, you're having conversations with them because you want them to turn out right. But ultimately, a child will train itself. So those ones who refuse to listen, you wash your hand off, especially when they now start bringing the shame back to you. You're your own person, own it.
They say, no be today, that's no be today. When they don't see the type. It's not, she won't be the first mother to disown a child. So what she has done as regards this business is disown the child. And is before, even in the days of our forefathers and ancestors, royals have also disowned princes or princesses. If you have a child that would not just stop, who did not adopt the agenda of a family name, from time, but a selfish person, you leave the child to the world.
So it's to please. Are you doing that to please society?
No,
of course not.
It's to save the family name in question because that child is not your only child. This person has other siblings. Why do you want to taint everybody with the same brush? Why do you yourself? Why do you have a dirty brush in your hand in the first place? And if the child in question understands family, this is the time to do things
and protect her mom.
And protect your mother's integrity and fame.
I beg.
All the years of work in the industry that your mother has done has given you an advantage, and all you can do is do substandard and different people.
Make your sense.
See, another thing I think we need to also learn from this going forward is that business is different from personal persons. We know the very big American family that their mother and their children are, doing business together. She gets 10%. It's a job, and it is associated by brands. Family relationships should be separate
from business.
Going forward, because a lot of it's not just this particular one now with the mother and child. There's so many other situations where celebrities have put their names to be used as adverts for businesses like this. The celebrity can say, well, look at the contract I signed. I was only meant to show up. Mother cannot say that. So going forward, when it comes to business, you must have a contract to show that this is a business relationship. So when things like this happen, you can always separate it. And it's not that this woman, because, you were talking about how some people say, how can you do that to your child? And my own is that I hope you never get tested at this with something like this.
That said, loyalty never be tested.
Yes, but you not be tested this way. Because in the end, very few people can really choose integrity over blood.
Nobody has answered the question I've asked, Mariam.
Okay.
So you've done this, right? When you now come home to your inner closet, are you not damaging that smaller nuclear family where you've disgraced or you issue a disclaimer, embarrassed us? You've done that where everybody, you're now the good mother because you've done this. But in the inner circle of your home, How would you reconcile that?
Mariah, you're looking at it differently.
Right.
Can I go ahead?
Go ahead.
Yes, the thing is, it is not the disclaimer that has disgraced the family. It's not the disclaimer that has broken the family. It is your actions, your scamming, your fraudulence, your criminality that has broken this family. So what we have done is to manage this fire that was about to consume everything.
Me and leave me to fire.
We have managed this fire because not only would it have consumed me and your mom, would have consumed everyone else. There are some names in this country today that when they call their names, everybody remember. If the children call their father's names, they will remember all the sins of the father on their head.
Yes, now.
Let me take this call. Good morning. It's been holding for a show. Are you there?
I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Morning.
Good morning. Fourth-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
For the topic, Ireti Doyle hasn't done anything wrong. But when we go by African approach, we value pedigree so much.
Ooh, Mr. Showemimo, I really would love to hear. You're saying we value pedigree so much.
Yeah. So there was something my father always said growing up. You say, Ije Nilo, Ije Zuzwe, Akam, Okom, Adehwa. Means if you go outside and you embarrass yourself, I am not with you.
Leg, no day.
I am not with you. So there are parents who, from time immemorial, as they are raising these children, they drum it into their ears that no matter what happens here, if you go outside and choose, God always presents us with choice, good or evil, and both have consequences. If you open your eyes and choose evil, because this is an adult that knows this is criminal, you chose evil, you want me to bear the consequence with you? I don't get it. Why? And talking about when you come home, I would ask, what's the intention of that disclaimer? So if it's from my heart that I have spoken to this girl has so embarrassed me, I've tried my best, I've tried to pay some debts for her, I've tried to, just make her, act right. And I'm failing at it because she's not paying attention to me, and I'm done.
Yes.
That you won't go home and be thinking you have failed or you have thrown her under the bus. You won't think that way. But if you do it from a place of, hey, people will be looking at my name, and in your mind, you're not offended with what she's doing to other people. That's where you have a problem. When you now go home and you're, going and brooding about, hey, why did I do this? I had to do it for a particular reason. So her intention may be questioned. If she did it with the right intention that I am done with this because I am not this kind of person. Why do you want to associate this with my name? Then she has nothing to feel bad about.
It doesn't matter the intention. Sometimes when you speak to your child in the corners of your room, the child deaf, you go disgrace her for outside. I grew up, it's normal.
I know that.
You give that child a disgrace. I use that language to a young girl I was mentoring because she did something very bad 3 separate times in front of myself and her mom. And I was looked at as strange. So I cut off the relationship. And when they came to beg, I said, you see, before life happens to you, what happened to you?
Yes, my mom, true.
And so I said, because it will be easier, quickly, for people to say, is that woman's girl now? That woman.
I'm picking.
I said, auntie, before life happens, that they will not say, let's get escorter, come and bail her. I will happen to you. Right. You won't know who to call.
Let me take this call. It's been holding for a while. Good morning, are you there?
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, my name is Celine, and I'm calling from Apapa.
Yes, go ahead.
This issue we're discussing, oftentimes we tend to cover things that would have uncovered for us to have peace. Yes, I understand. For her to come out is just to make sure that her name is not tarnished. It's very difficult to be the brand. It takes a second for that brand to go down. Just one word. Just one person will make a comment, and that brand will just go down. And everybody knows Ireti Doyle. I respect her a lot. And for her to have come out to say this, meaning that she has coded, she has talked, she has come. Again and again. Before she would say, I'm out of this nonsense. Bear the burden yourself. Good lane is better than good. Doesn't matter what people will say after now. Some people will say, Shedina, her mother did this. Is it not the mother? Is it not the father?
Oh, Masha.
Thank you, Salim. So we're going to go on a break, but if you recall, Hillary Clinton stood by her husband even after he lied that he did not cheat on her. If you recall, O.J. Simpson too has a family who loved him even after he was convicted. So
they allowed them face the
point I'm trying to make is that he wasn't convicted. Yes, he wasn't. But during the whole trial, his family stood by him. The point I'm trying to make is that isn't there a role family plays when you are in the pit? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Compare oranges and apples.
No problem.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So it is hard playing the devil's advocate here because, I mean, we all agree that, yeah, mothers should do what a mother's got to do. But you also say that there's got to be somewhere where no matter how low I go, no matter how bad things are, no matter how many mistakes I make as a child, the last person I expect in the world to throw me out under the bus is my mother. Even if every other person fails, all else fails, I should have that one person who is my mother. So do you think, as a mother, there are certain things you shouldn't even do? Yes, your spouse might do this, your siblings might do this, but your own mother may not. Don't you think?
May I say that this is not an easy thing to do. And it doesn't stop you from being a mother. In fact, it's part of being a mother that you have to take this tough decision. Because unfortunately for you, you are not just a mother to one person. You have other children. And according to a YouTuber here, it says, Morayo, she's trying to send a lesson. Adedotu says she's also sending a message to her other children so that they don't toe the line of the one in front. This is it. What you expect of that mother reciprocates. The standards that you expect, the kind of love that you expect, that pampering you expect, you mature to that point where you give it back. That's how life is. All of us here, at one point, just want to be free. It's the responsibilities of family, name, all those things that is holding everybody and holding them back. There's certain decisions as a young girl that I would have loved to make. But I look back all the time and I remember hard conversations when my parents would say, this will break me. You see this thing this child is doing, if one of you tries it, I will just die. And I'll be like,
yes.
Okay. And that will just stop it. So this is a tough place to be, that you even put your parents in such a place. It's for yourself.
So tough love is used for a reason, and is that you're going to be given something that may seem like hate, but it's really in the end for your own good. There are times that our parents have done things, at the time that they did it, we thought we would hate them forever. But then as adults, we now realize if they had not taken that step and saved us from ourselves, today, we will not be able to even talk about anything concerning us because we would have made so many mistakes. But they were willing to allow you hate them so that it can be better. Do you understand the sacrifice of a mother to do that? I said, don't love me. Think I'm the worst person on earth. Just be better. But be better. And then when you get better, hopefully, if I'm still alive, you'll be able to see and appreciate. So that is also a sacrifice that she has made. So it's not an easy thing to do. I remember in primary school, there's this girl that used to sit beside me, and she showed me her book, like where she gets really low marks. The teacher, after marking and everything, he will now write poor, right? And then she showed me how she changed the poor to good, O-O-D. I was like, you see, her parents will just see good and they are good. Unfortunately for me that I know that my mother is CIA, that checks, I did not remember my mother checks my books and everything, has to follow through. I went to go and do it. She sat down. She saw it one day. The way she fell on the floor, you would think that I had killed someone. She took me to school that day, reported me to the teacher, and told them that she wanted them to bring me out of class and make an example. My sister would never try in your dreams, that sort of thing again. At that time, I thought, how dare, why would she? But today, I understood what she did for me.
She was willing to allow herself look bad, be the bad woman, the bad mother that does not care because she did not want me to do something that in future I will embarrass myself.
Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there?
Morning.
You're live. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Kano, and I'm the first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, you guys are doing a great job. So, quickly, parents supporting children is also making them trace the music of whatever they do when it comes. A lot of times, we forget also that children could play on the emotional intelligence of their parents. Sometimes children know what they do. They know the repercussion that will come after it. What do you feel like? After all, now my parents support me. I can just do what I like. So I really stand with Ireti, and like one of you has said, this woman has put in so much years and work in her life, in her entire life. I mean, they say to whom much is given, much is expected. Right. That girl shouldn't have even done that in the first place, because knowing where you come from. I know how my grandmom will always tell all of us, remember where you come from. Because when you remember where you come from, there are things you won't easily just do. There are things you just are not expected to do. So I think we shouldn't...
Right, Emmanuel. Let me come to BC, because I know this is like your area. So we've discussed this, but nobody's talking about what the child has. So we're not talking about children here. We're talking about adults. Yeah. Nobody's talking about what she is going through right now, the lady in question. So your mother has put this disclaimer out. Everybody's now saying, yes, you goofed, you've done this, but now, how will she, as a person, reconcile not just her business, but even her relationship with her mother with this disclaimer? What do you think is the right thing?
So I think, first of all, she needs to pick her priorities. So I wanted to start by saying that even God chastises who he loves. You remember the story of the children of Israel when they misbehave, and God will send them to their enemies. They will kill them. They will massacre them. He will turn his face away from them for them to learn specific lessons. And then when he sees that they are remorseful, he comes back and he shows them love. That's the job of a mother hen. You can throw your children out, let them explore, and then you protect them. This disclaimer does not mean she has stopped loving her daughter, but she needs to set an example so that this girl will retrace her steps and know what she's doing. So for the lady in question, you need to ask yourself, what are your priorities? What name do you want to leave? What was your intention of getting into business? Are you a Yahoo? Did you get in there to defraud individuals who spend money? I know how customers will call me and say, I like this particular hair, but I don't have the money for it. Can I pay 2 times? Can I pay 3 times? They are paying me salary. Can I save up and pay for? Will you keep this for me? People are struggling. Everybody's struggling. And you're comfortably defrauding them, and you're asking me how you would feel. You're a thief. You should feel like a thief. You should be remorseful. You should apologize to people who you have defrauded. You should pay them back their money. If there's anybody who you're still owing, please pay them back their money. You're a thief. So I'm not going to be considering how you would feel for calling you out on criminality. This is they can pick you up. Is it because they've not tried it? Some customers, especially if you have, dealt, you spent so much money in buying products, can find you and trace you and pick you up and take you to EFCC or the police or whatever. So it's not your feeling now that is in question. You are hurting other people. What about the feelings of the people you have defrauded? We should be thinking about their mental health. You spend money that you don't even have enough, and then you lose it, and somebody is flaunting. But I also wanted to go to the husband. I heard she's married. I don't know if that's correct. Or her relationship. Yes. What is the role of the husband in this case? Is he not aware of what is happening? I remember there was a time, during the NSAS, when they came and destroyed this building, I had some products here that customers had paid for that I brought to office that they were supposed to come and pick up. And they did not pick it up. And that hair was destroyed. And I had to be going back and forth, hundreds of thousands. My husband said, send them their products. I was like, it's a new business I'm making. He says, send them their products. BC, you don't want anything, criminality attached to your name. Let them, if they want to understand that they robbed here or they stole here or they broke this place, it's on them. But you have not delivered product to your customer. Make sure you deliver. He sat on me till I sent that product. He takes it very personal when it comes to my name. So what is the role of the spouse in her life right now?
Okay, in this, let me call Shina. Shina, are you there? Up the call. Hello, Shina, are you there? Hello, Shina, are you there? Okay, I think we lost the call. So we've all shared experiences of growing up. I mean, I think I've shared my own a trillion times on the show where my father beat me up for stealing this biscuit. I mean, he bought biscuits from Ajashe. That's where my stepmother's from. And she brought it for me and she sent it to me. And then he also had, I think he went to Abuja or somebody. Somebody had sent him the shortbread and TUC. So biscuits, she made three types in the house. So me, I saw the shortbread and I saw the TUC. I didn't want the other one because he was now asleep, he was tired. And I went to him. And I asked, can I have it? He said, oh, sure, it's yours. Of course, I knew that he wasn't referring to, but I just didn't care. And I distributed shortbread to the whole street. Yeah. Enjoy yourself. People drive themselves, carry
do 2 times birthday party in a year.
The whole street knew that my father bought me biscuits. Yeah. I was the queen of the evening.
You needed beating.
We did that to the next door, collected like 2 to each. Just Saturday morning. I was sleeping, I just hear my father shouting, who took my biscuit? He just dragged me. I lifted, I was 8 years old. I mean, he carried me like this into his room, closed the door and locked it. He brought out these belts. I will never forget this Christian Dior belt. I know a CD, they wrote on it like this. Strong. He beat. Stood down.
School beats.
That day, I stopped eating biscuits for many years.
You had a phobia for biscuits.
I had a phobia for biscuits. That's why now I love cookies because I starved myself. For many years. When I became an adult, I started loving cookies. So, you see, yes, we go through this as children because these are learning curves, learning opportunities for parents to mold us. Yeah. But would you say that this person wasn't raised right? Is it a good way to judge how she was raised, or if the mother did not do well in raising her in the way she turned out? I mean, is that something we can discuss?
Would you say Jesus Christ was a failure because he had a Judas? You see, this job we're doing as parents is a lot, because there's everything, there's no code for it.
There are no guarantees.
There are no guarantees. You would have
everything is right, but
yes, there are no guarantees. So you would do your best as a parent, but ultimately, a child raises itself. Ultimately, it's on the plate of the child to choose, because with every step you're taking as a parent, you are constantly presenting them with the good and the bad, and you're giving them the consequence. You're telling them, if you go this way, this is it, if you go that way, this is it. Some of us have made mistakes that we tell our children, this is the mistake I made, don't go this way. We are constantly presenting them. But if they choose, and they have a choice, you can't take it away from them. If they choose to go that way, they should be able to live with the consequences. It doesn't make you a failure. So a lot of parents feel bad, feel depressed. I have a family situation, a family friend situation right now, that the mother is constantly, the boy has just gone haywire. Like, they were raised in the same environment. 2 of them turned out great. The other person just chose to become the Judas. And the mother is constantly crying every day. High blood pressure nearly wants to kill her right now. That I have failed as a mother. I have failed. Is it like I did not pray enough? She was not counting. I fasted 5 days every week for this one. I did 3 days for this one. Hey, this one, he's like, it's 2 days I now did. Is it because I did not fast up to 4? She's constantly, and I had a talk with one of the family members, and I had to say, Mommy, you can't do this to yourself. You have tried. Anybody who knows you knows you. You have tried. This way is the way the child has chosen. At some point, you need to let it go.
Right. Nima, I wanted to final words on this.
I lost my thoughts.
I know. So, of course, BC has just given us some really deep things to think about, because, I mean, I think, as I said before, my job is to always stir up the conversation to get different angles. So I agree with everything that's been said. It's just that you also have to know there's always 2 sides to every story. Yeah. So, yes, we see the side of the mother, but we must also see that somebody's an adult who has made mistakes. Yes. And we probably even need an encouragement. We also need some kind of yes, you can use one, if you're all on that hand, for one more, the Yoruba says, use one hand to spank, use the other hand to hug the child. So we don't want a whole sledgehammer on this matter, but at the same time, it's still somebody's child. This is still somebody's child. So she must also be willing to reconcile. Yeah.
As long as she's willing to accept that she's done something wrong, pay up for what she has defrauded people of, then she can start talking about the relationship with her mom. Yeah. And one thing, we're looking at it as if it's the mom that owes her something. In this case, she's the one that actually owes her mother something. So she would need to find a way to get back in the good graces of her mother.
She should earn the trust and respect again.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I think we can wrap on that. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you,
Maura. It was really great having this conversation. I hope you learned a few things as we have. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.